and welcome to this week's episode of 5 Minute Fridays. I'm Miranda.
I'm Dan. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. Let's dive right in. So, streaming to YouTube, we're using vMix Pro version 21.
PTZ Optics USB 20X camera.
Yep.
Our new X Keys mouse mat.
Yep. Using vMix Social on Kindle Fire and our XK124 T-Bar with the video switcher set.
There we go.
There we go.
So we had some fun showing you mouse stuff last week. And then we had questions about how to do that on a Mac.
Yep.
And Miranda's our resident Mac expert. So
she
made us a nice little tutorial.
Yep. So take a look. So today I'm going to show you how to program some mouse functions on your X keys using ControllerMate on a Mac. Now our ultimate goal is to be able to take a file on our desktop and drag and drop it into this stuff folder that I've created. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open up ControllerMate and create a new programming page. Then we're going to go into our controllers in the palette window, and we're going to find the button that we want to program. So let's say we want to program this one. All you have to do is click on it, and it automatically jumps to it, and it blinks. So you'll select that building block and drag it onto your programming page. Next, let's add a mouse button building block. So go under Output in the palette window and select your mouse button building block. For this, over in the inspector window, you want to, when it's turned on, select button down. When it's turned off, select button up. Now we need to add a delay. So you go into the palette window under timing and you add a delay building block. Drag it over, connect it. You'll know it's connected with the green line. And the reason you want to do this is you don't want all of these commands to be happening at once. It might confuse the computer. So add your 0.15 seconds. And then let's go back into Output. And we're going to add a cursing building block. So this is where we're going to define where we want our mouse to move when we click the button. So under cursor, we're going to select screen position. And now we need to take a screenshot of our desktop. So in a Mac, it's Shift-Command-3, and it just takes a picture of your entire desktop, and it'll save it right there. Come back to ControllerMate, and in the inspector window, select Screenshot Viewer. Now here's where we're going to open up our screenshot. It brings it right to your desktop. Select that. Open. Now you can zoom in and out to find your spot. I know my spot's right here, so I'm just going to click on it. And as soon as I click on it, you can see that it froze the distance values right there, and then it also went ahead and put it into your inspector window for you. So you don't have to worry about writing it down or thinking about, trying to remember the numbers. So it's okay to close out of that now. So we need to add another delay. So grab that, add your 0.15, and then one last building block, go back to Output, and you want another mouse button. So grab that, connect it to your group, and in the inspector window, when turned on, you want it to be button down. When turned off, do button up. So next, let's go ahead and save this. So just Command Save, or Command S. And then before we test it, one key thing is that you actually want to close out of ControllerMate. Otherwise, you just want to do this to avoid the conflicts with activity from an actual mouse. And the ControllerMate helper application will actually generate the actions that we just programmed in our X keys. So let's go ahead and test this out. Let's move this guy just like that. Try one more. Makes cleaning up my desktop nice and easy. Thank you.
And there you have it. That's how you do mousy stuff on a Mac.
Yep. Not too difficult after you figure it out.
That was interesting to me. I really am not that familiar with ControllerMate. It's a very different way of programming stuff with dragging
really
blocks
is.
onto the screen and then doing stuff with them.
It really is.
So let's, we passed our 5 minutes, so we'll wrap this and talk to you in the post show.
All right. And we're back.
We are.
All right. So do we have any questions about ControllerMate or the
Mousy
tutorial that we did?
stuff.
Mouse stuff.
Next week, we're going to continue with the mousy stuff, and I'm going to show you how to do our absolute mouse stuff in hardware mode, which is different. And it also means you can take the device to any computer, plug it in, and it's going to do the mouse stuff that you have programmed into it without any additional software or anything else. So we got anything? Comment. Yeah.
That's a question. So if the user didn't want to use ControllerMate, can they use MacWorks on a Windows machine and store the mouse movements in hardware mode? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is what we're talking about next week.
Yep. Yep. So we will go into more detail on that next week, but it is definitely possible.
Yep. Oh, she cut me off. I see. Yeah. No worries.
It's all good. Here's a comment. It is very different than MacWorks. It's set up through ControllerMate with drag and drop. It is, and ControllerMate can be a bit intimidating at first, but once you get into it and understand the dragging your building blocks over and finding the different windows, it's fairly intuitive.
You can do pretty much everything we do in MacWorks and Windows.
And more.
And more. Yeah. Yeah, and Ken Hegland, who's the creator of ControllerMate, really nice guy and great at answering questions in his support forums and stuff.
Yep.
So.
All right. What about
Tommy loves us. That's good. Linux. Any operating system that supports USB with those hardware commands we were talking about, whether it's keystrokes or mouse stuff, we store it in the X keys memory. The X keys plugs in to that system, and the system doesn't know that our X keys is any different than if you just plugged in a USB keyboard or a USB mouse.
Right.
The one kind of strange issue we have is with some KVM switches, and they don't like compound devices. They can't handle it. So we have special KVM firmware for those cases where we actually dumb down the device so it only shows up as a keyboard.
Right.
And then we can go through a KVM switch.
Yep.
Great question on
Good
Linux.
question. All right.
Anything else? It's Friday.
Yay. I'm happy about that.
And it's cold here in Michigan. And we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. We haven't had much this year. So. All right. Well, we're going to go. And I guess we got to do something.
Back to work, I suppose.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Thank you.
See you guys next week with Absolute Mouse stuff.
Yep. Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yes, please do.
Help us out. All right.
Bye. Bye.